camping in the forest with my family. Hello everyone, and welcome to the 15th episode of our English learning series. Today's story is about leaving the city behind and spending quality time with the most important people in our lives, our family. It is an adventure story about a weekend I spent camping in the forest with my father, my mother, and my younger sister Sophie. It was a wonderful experience, and I want to tell you all about it. The idea for our trip was a family decision. Last week, we were all sitting together after dinner. We were all looking at our phones or watching TV. My father said, "We need a real adventure away from all these screens." My mother agreed. She said, "Let's go camping this weekend. We can spend time together in nature." My sister Sophie and I were very excited. We love the outdoors. Preparation is a very important part of a family camping trip. We all had a job to do. My mother was in charge of the food. She made a long list of everything we needed to eat for 2 days. My father was in charge of the equipment. He checked the tent, the sleeping bags, and the flashlights to make sure everything worked. My job was to help my father pack the camping gear into boxes. Sophie's job was to pack her own little backpack with her favorite book and a teddy bear. On Friday evening, we packed everything carefully into the back of our car. We were full of excitement for our family adventure. On Saturday morning, we woke up very early. My mother made some sandwiches for the journey. We all got in the car and started our drive. As we left the city, I watched the world change outside the window. The big city buildings slowly disappeared. The wide highways became smaller country roads. Sophie pointed at everything she saw. "Look, a cow! Look, a tractor!" she shouted happily. Soon, we were surrounded by green fields and tall trees. After a 2-hour drive, my father turned onto a small dirt road that led into the national forest. He found the perfect place to set up our camp. He explained why it was a good spot. It was on flat ground, which is good for the tent. It was in a small clearing, so we had some open space. And it was near a small clear river. The only sounds were the gentle whisper of the wind and the singing of birds. Our first job as a family was to set up our home for the night, the tent. My father was the leader. He showed me how to connect the long, thin poles. Together, we attached the tent fabric to the poles and lifted it up. It looked like a big yellow dome. My mother and Sophie prepared the inside. They unrolled the sleeping bags and inflated the air mattresses. Sophie's job was to step on the small pump, and she thought it was a very fun game. In less than an hour, our cozy tent was ready. After setting up the camp, it was time to explore. We went for a family hike on a narrow trail. My father walked in front and taught us about the different trees. he showed us the difference between a pine tree and a cedar tree. My mother showed Sophie how to identify pretty wild flowers. Sophie collected a few beautiful, colorful leaves to take home. We walked slowly, listening to the crunch of leaves under our feet and breathing the fresh, clean forest air. After our walk, we returned to our campsite. The sun was getting lower in the sky. It was time to prepare for the evening. My father said it was time to build a campfire. This was the most exciting part for me and Sophie. My father taught us the rules of fire safety. He drew a big circle on the ground and cleared away all the dry leaves. He said, "Fire is beautiful, but we must always be careful and respect it." My sister and I helped him collect dry firewood. We only picked up branches that had already fallen on the ground. My father built the fire carefully. Soon, a warm, crackling campfire was glowing in our campsite. My mother started preparing dinner. She gave everyone a task. Sophie washed some potatoes and wrapped them in foil. I put hot dogs on long sticks. My father put a pot of soup on a small grill over the fire. We all sat in our chairs around the fire, cooking our food together. The hot dogs and potatoes tasted amazing. Everything tastes better when you cook it and eat it outside. As night came, the forest became very dark. But our campfire created a cozy circle of warm light. We all looked up at the sky. With no city lights, we could see thousands of bright stars. It was like a free magic show in the sky. We sat around the fire, telling stories and jokes. My mother told us a funny story about when she went camping as a little girl. Then, my father brought out a bag of marshmallows. This was Sophie's favorite part. We all found good sticks, put marshmallows on the end, and roasted them over the fire. I like my marshmallows to be golden brown, but Sophie likes hers a little burnt and crispy. They were so sweet and delicious. The sounds of the forest at night were all around us. We heard the gentle chirping of crickets and the deep hoo-hoo of a distant owl. It felt like nature was singing us a lullaby. Finally, it was time to sleep. My father put out the campfire very carefully. He poured a lot of water on it until he was sure it was completely out. We all brushed our teeth and went into our tent. My father zipped up the door. I snuggled into my warm sleeping bag between my mother and my sister. I felt so safe and happy. I could hear the quiet sounds of the forest outside as I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning to the sound of birds singing and the smell of fresh pine. My father was already making breakfast on a small camping stove. After we ate, it was time to pack up. My parents taught us the most important rule of camping: leave no trace. My mother explained that it means we must leave the forest exactly as we found it. We all worked together. We took down our tent and folded it neatly. We picked up every single piece of trash and put it in a bag to take with us. Sophie was the official trash inspector to make sure we did not leave anything behind. We loaded everything back into the car. Before we left, we all stood for a moment and looked at our campsite. It was clean and beautiful, as if we were never there. The drive home was quiet. Sophie was asleep in the back seat, and we were all tired in a good, happy way. That weekend in the forest was more than just a trip. It was a weekend of being a family, away from all distractions. We worked together, we learned from our parents, and we explored the world together. It was a perfect family adventure, and we made memories that I will always keep in my heart.